Hey guys, it's Adrian or BHA here, bringing you a new video. So, the great folks over at Eufy sent me over yet another dual camera product to show you. So this is the third video in the series, and we're going to be looking at the dual camera E340 video doorbell. So this thing looks pretty awesome. Not only does it have the 2K main camera, but it also has a package camera that's kind of angled down at the bottom, along with two lights, one on top, one on bottom, for awesome color night vision clarity. So you definitely want to check this thing out. So without further ado, let's get started. So you can pick this thing straight up from Eufy's website for about 180 bucks. And though that may seem like it's kind of on the high end, I guarantee you with all of its capabilities, it's definitely at least worth a good look. Stay tuned, we're going to tear right into it and see what all we can do. Here we go.
Alright, let's start by looking at what all we get in the box. So as you can see, as always, Eufy displays everything on the outside of the box. From the device's capabilities to the contents of what comes inside the box. But if we open it up here, right there on top we have the doorbell itself. Here on the back is that rechargeable battery, which makes this pretty cool because with this we can pretty much install it anywhere. We got some instructions here for getting this thing set up. We have a mounting bracket as well as a wedge, which allows you to have that more of an angled install if you needed to, depending on where your door is and where your doorbell is mounted currently. We got wires for wiring this into your existing doorbell wiring if you want to, as well as mounting screws. So basically you get the little pigtails that you'll be able to connect it straight into your existing house wiring, which might be connected up to your doorbell chime if you already have one. Looks like we have a USB cable for charging the battery as well, and for getting it set up. That's pretty much it for everything that you get inside the box. Let's go over the main specs of the device here. So like I said, this has two cameras. The main camera is 2K, and then that bottom camera, or the package camera, is 1600 by 1200. So that's still pretty decent quality even for the package camera. This supports color night vision, taking advantage of not one but two lights. So it has a light on top and a light on bottom. Using the Eufy app, you can take advantage of two-way audio. This also comes with a rechargeable battery, as we've kind of already talked about. The great thing about that is just that ability to be able to install it anywhere and not need to have it plugged in or wired in. You basically just remove it to charge the battery when you need to, and then plug it right back in. It does have 8 gigs of built-in storage, and it will also support connecting it to the Homebase 3 in the near future. Lastly, using the Smart AI, it does both face detection and package detection as well. That pretty much covers the main specs for this doorbell, so let's move on to the next step and get this thing added into the Eufy app. Now, getting devices added into the Eufy app is always super easy. Here on the main screen, we can just hit that plus in the top corner there, and then we are looking for video doorbell. Now you can see there are multiple options here. In fact, it's a little confusing as this is the E340, but we are not going to be using the battery power as we are going to have it plugged in with the house wiring. I'm going to choose a video doorbell dual wired, since that seems to cover what I'm doing. I could choose my existing smart home here or create a new one if we wanted to, and then we're going to hit next. Now we are ready to scan the QR code on the back of the doorbell. At this point, it's time to get the device added to Wi-Fi. So this only supports 2.4 gigahertz. Make sure that you use the right one here. We're going to hold that sync button down on the back of the unit until we hear it beep. Then we can hit next, and the doorbell now needs to scan the QR code off of the phone. You'll just have to kind of move it around until you get the right spot so that the camera picks up the QR code. Make sure you have good lighting as well, because it's always tough to get it to scan those QR codes. You will hear a beep again, and at this point, it's making that connection to the Wi-Fi network. As you can see here, it has been added successfully. We can give it a name here if we want to. I'm going to call it Front Doorbell. Looks like it's ready to update the firmware as well, so we'll just kind of fast forward through that. Now it's asking me if we're going to be using the house power or if we're going to use the battery power here. So obviously we're using the house power, so we'll select that wired option here. This next part is talking about whether you have a mechanical doorbell or a digital chime doorbell. And mine is kind of the old school mechanical, so we'll select that as well. Once you go through the installation process, you can choose to install it while you do that, or be like me and just skip through it, and we'll just kind of wing it. It's a pretty simple install, so I'm not super worried about it. I'll just kind of fast forward through all this here, because we're going to do that install on the next step. Now it's asking about notifications here and what type of alerts that we want. I'm going with the middle option there, which includes thumbnail. I may change it to the full effect at some point. It even lets us configure the motion settings as well, so we can decide how we want that motion detection to work. By default, it is set to balanced motion detection. I'm going to leave that for now. You have the option to change audio settings here if we want to. Again, I'm pretty much leaving everything to default for now, at least until we get it installed. It kind of goes through here how the package detection works. We have the option to share this device with other Eufy users if we wanted to, but that's pretty much it. We now have the doorbell added to the Eufy app. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step and we'll get this thing installed. This is actually a very simple install. In fact, even more so for me, as I am going from an older Eufy video doorbell to this new one. So it was a very similar setup. First things first, I'm just going to remove that old doorbell. And you can see here in this clip that we have all of it removed and the wires are hanging out ready for the new doorbell to be installed. Next up, we got to get the mounting bracket installed. I'm using that wedge to help give me a little better angle when people come to my door. My door is kind of on the side when you walk up, and then the doorbell is on the wall that's perpendicular to the door, so it makes it a little bit easier with that wedge. Now, in order to take advantage of the house wiring and wiring it up to my original doorbell, we have to use these little pigtails they provide. So you're basically able to screw it down here, and then there's a stripped wire at the other end so that you can just use a wire nut and twist it onto the house wiring. So it's very simple to do. And then here we are in the last clip. I got them wired together and I was able to just push most of that excess back in the wall. Once you do that, that doorbell just kind of snaps into the mounting bracket. In fact, they give you a tool to pop off the doorbell if you need to get to the battery or anything like that. You know, especially if you're going to be charging the battery, you'll use that tool to pop it on and off. At this point, we have the doorbell installed. Let's move on to the next step and we will go over the various config options in the Eufy app. So here we are in the main screen for the doorbell, and you can see both cameras there. Quality looks really good. Now along the bottom we got the record and screenshot buttons. We got the phone button in the middle, which is for that two-way conversation, two-way audio. You have the auto reply section as well as the sound button for turning on and off sound if you don't want to hear sound or not. If you slide over, there is one more button, which is the light button for turning those lights on at night for that color night vision. But if we hit the settings up in the top corner there, Of course, you can turn the doorbell video off altogether if you want to with that switch in the top corner. The edge connection is where we're going to go to add the doorbell to the home base 3 if we want. It's not currently supported all the way, but will be shortly. Motion detection, so we can turn it off if we want. We can change what type of motion you want to trigger on. By default, it's human only, but if you want to do all motion, you can. You can also change the sensitivity as well. It's currently set right in the middle, and I'm going to leave it there for now. Power manager is where we can look at your power settings, which probably isn't as important if you're powering the doorbell with house wiring. But if you were using the battery, then you could modify settings here and see how the battery was performing. Delivery guard is where it will monitor for packages. So you do have the option to set ignore zones if you want. You can set up package guarding, which will allow you to set up auto responses if people approach packages. You can also set an automatic alert for packages that have been left on your door each night, in case you forget them. Package live check assistance will even tell you when the package was delivered. So that's pretty cool stuff there. If you enable familiar faces, it will start learning faces as it picks them up on camera, and you can assign them names for future, more personable notifications. Under response settings is where you can create automatic responses for when you are away and someone comes to the door. Under indoor chime, you can see all the different chime options that are available to you, which is cool, especially if you are using this as a battery doorbell and not hooked up to that standard doorbell chime. Now, under video settings, you can decide what kind of night vision you want, which since mine is wired, I want to set it to the color night vision. As well as disable the watermark if we wanted to. We also have the ability to set the default viewing quality and recording quality. I'm going to leave everything standard for now. Under dual cam settings, we can adjust the viewing option if we want. I have both cameras viewable kind of on the main screen, but you can do more of a picture-in-picture mode if you want to just have that package camera down in the corner. Audio settings is where we can turn off audio recording or just turn off the microphone if we wanted to. You can also adjust the volume on here as well for the speaker or that doorbell. Under notification is where you want to change what kind of notifications you get, as well as how detailed they are. General, this is where we can see basic information about the doorbell, like the status of the built-in storage, as well as change the Wi-Fi settings if we wanted to. This is also where you can come to check for firmware updates, which it looks like I'm pretty good there, so that's good. That pretty much covers everything you can do in the Eufy app for this doorbell. Let's go ahead and move on to the last step, and I'll show you some video clips from the camera so you can get an idea what it looks like daytime, nighttime, as well as give you my final thoughts. Okay, so I got some footage here, both daytime and nighttime, and I really like the clarity. You saw that color night vision there, and it looked really clear, and daytime looked good as well. I mean, for $180, it's probably a little on the higher end when it comes to doorbells and like the smart doorbells. But most doorbells don't have a dedicated package camera separate from the main camera, and let alone have two lights, one being on top and one being on bottom to get that good color image at night. And then, of course, having the ability to connect to a home base 3 will be a plus to have all the added local storage for videos. And I mean, if you're using other Eufy products, then having everything in that Eufy ecosystem is a very nice setup. I'll have a link in the description below to Eufy's website. If you aren't interested in this doorbell, head over there and see what else they got. I guarantee you will find something that you do like. Also, make sure to check out their other cameras in their latest dual camera line. This, of course, is video 3 in my 4-video set. I'll have links to the previous videos below, and then the 4th video will be out coming up very shortly.
I want to thank everybody for donating to my Buy Me a Coffee link. Every little bit helps. If you haven't had a chance, head over to my spring merchandise page and check out all the Burns home automation merchandise. And if you're looking for the latest smart home gear, you're going to want to check out SMONet. I'll have a link in the description below. Head over there and see what deals they currently have running. And if you're looking for the latest smart window treatment, you're going to want to check out Smartwings. I'll have a link in the description below for them as well. If you head over there, you can see what deals they currently have running. If you're interested in buying and selling stock or maybe cryptocurrency, you're going to want to check out Robin. I'll have a link in the description below. If you sign up with that link, you and I both will get a free share of stock. It's a win-win for both of us. If you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments below. As always, if there are any videos out there that you would like to see that I don't already have out there, let me know in the comments as well. I'll see if I can't get something put together for you guys. Otherwise, I'll see you guys around.